Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir. 6 minutes will give me enough time to read the points only. But nevertheless,
It is already.
sir, we realize the importance of decongestion of Shillong. And it came as a question also which could not be taken up. In this aspect, to connect New Shillong with the present Shillong with New Shillong, I had suggested a few steps that could be taken, where the roads could be made wider and broader, and some other infrastructure facilities could be provided. Subsequently, the PW department sanctioned an amount for the expansion of roads from Rinja towards Mawphor, which will also now host the new assembly building, and also the construction of a bridge, making it a 2-lane bridge. But that work has taken a very, very long time to complete. In fact, the bridge, which costed, the total sanction amount was less than 6 crores, including the expansion, is yet to be completed till now. Whereas the assembly building in Mawphor Dam is worth 200-300 crores, that is coming up. Reason saying this COVID. Well, COVID is everywhere. It couldn't be only in the building area. So the department has to be taken into task for being very tardy in their progress. Then we come to the same water supply scheme. This is in Nongra village. Small scheme of 7-8 crores. That is also taking so many years to complete. Now, the officers of the department should realize that taking COVID as an excuse should not be the manner in which they should function. There are other ways of communication. Today's internet, the technology in our hands, you can even send the work order by WhatsApp, which is acceptable, which cannot be challenged. So this is the second point. The third is come to MEPDCL. First of all, I would like to know the mind of the government, why they are reluctant to introduce prepaid meters in the entire state. I have seen that these prepaid meters work very well in Imphal, because I've been there. And there's no complaint from the public, because nobody has to come to read their meters. You pay, you get light; you don't pay, you suffer. Even in Guwahati city, tremendous amount of prepaid meters have been installed. So similarly, at least in the rural areas, because I was made to understand that the smart meters will have a problem if there's no internet connectivity. I'm not an expert on this, but this is what I was made to understand. So to avoid all that, shouldn't we go for prepaid meters? They're even cheaper to install, for that matter. So that is one consideration I would like the government to take care of. And also, so if you apply for a electricity connection, which is over 15 kilowatts, you have to pay for the transformer. I'll tell you my experience. I applied for a transformer for 100 kilowatts. It took the department 3 months just to give me the estimate, showing what it would cost me to install that transformer in my compound. Sir, which company in the world takes 3 months to give an estimate? And that was also for a transformer. But this is very, very unacceptable. That means the duties of the officer who's performing is not taking it seriously. Number two, sir, after you pay for it, I paid for it. It took them another 4 months to install it. I understand the financial difficulties the corporation is facing, but that money is mine. They didn't have to use their money to buy it. I deposited the money, and 4 months later, That also because I had to speak personally to the Honorable Minister. Then only it came out. Now, this is not acceptable if we are serious about deliverance of essential items to our people of the state, sir. I come to illegal gates. So this is an issue raised time and again by all the members of the House. If you travel along the national highway from Morkaning to Dingposor, to Mawphor, to Borimbong, to Umroi, up to Umsao, there are a number of illegal gates set up by the KHADC. So the government of Meghalaya, the District Council Affairs Department issued a notification to KHADC stating that they cannot, it is illegal, because the rules of the National Highway Authority of India do not allow that they exist. And the enforcers of that law are turning a blind eye. And what conclusion do we draw? Yeah, that they hand in glove. Can you draw any other conclusion, sir? When it's happening right under your nose. It's happening in Borsora also, where these export points are there. Every export point there's a illegal gate. I would request the Honorable Chief Minister. This is extortion. Extortion is not allowed in society, sir. It's not allowed. And this should stop immediately. Otherwise, we'll have to again stand in the House demanding suspension of officers. There will be no officers left in the government in that case. So, sir, these are points I'd like to raise. Because this extortion will eventually lead to what? The trader will raise his prices. Cost of raw materials will increase. And you and I will have to pay more for the cement and steel and the vegetables and everything else which they are being extorted for. The poor man is already in a predicament with this COVID. Then at the end of it, I don't know what will happen. So, that is that. So I come back to now this pandemic. This COVID-19 has taught us a lot of things. And there was a program in the Nongthumai Urban Primary Health Center on the...
Honorable Member, please be short. I have
yes.
given you 6 times, but considering your status as a ex-speaker of this August House...
No, I tell you, the doctor called me for a program to be the chief guest to impress upon the people that please vaccinate yourselves. There were lactating mothers there and pregnant mothers. Now, if those lactating mothers and pregnant mothers don't take their vaccine, then it indirectly affects the children because 0 to 14, there's no vaccines. So she called me to try and tell them that this is the right thing. So I've said to myself, this is the only doctor in the world who trusts a politician to convey the message. So, sir, these are the few things. And the last point I wanted to raise now was the creation of districts. Excellent. It came as star question number 13. We couldn't deliberate on that. So the Honorable Chief Minister said Mairang was considered. Now, being the Speaker's constituency, I don't want to say much on that. But East Khasi Hills, sir. East Khasi Hills, about 16 or 17 constituencies. One district commissioner. At the present moment, she is so overburdened with everything that none of the governmental activities or programs can be carried on. Thereby, the delivery to the people is being thing. I would suggest, and this is my personal opinion, that another district should be created in East Khasi Hills. And I would think the front runner should be Sora. But of course, that depends on the parameters which the government will use in deciding this.
Sir, on this very August House, we have passed a resolution on the 27 November 2018 for inclusion of Khasi and Garo language under the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. But till date, sir, we don't know what has happened to the resolution passed by this August House. The second, sir, is the Mawphor issue, which the situation when volatile, which has forced the government to impose curfew and restriction in mobile data. Subsequently, a committee was notified on the 4th June 2018. I don't know what has happened to the committee, the high-level committee. Whenever we have a session, every time we have question, what has happened to the report? Every time we see that answer is, it's coming very soon. It's like waiting for a blockbuster movie and the trailer over and it's coming soon. So these things should we take care so that we'll get the proper report. The people are waiting for these type of reports. They are angry, Mr. Speaker, sir. Another is the illegal coke factory, sir, in Thalaiñ, West Khasi Hills. Even after the State Pollution Board has issued a closure notice to these illegal coke factories, till now they are functioning. I don't know what is the district administration doing or the government is doing. And third, and last, sir, we all have received a petition from Kishore Jongkinong demanding the suspension of the police officers. We should not turn a blind eye on the demand of the people. We should look so that the people will gain confidence on whichever government they are in. So with these few submissions, I resume my seat.
Thank you.
So, interestingly, I was looking at all the questions that were placed on the table of the House and that were listed in the start question section. 194 questions were brought to this House in a 4-day session. 4-day session. Actually, we lost out 2 days, maybe 3-day session. Interestingly, I'm not commenting that it is not the convention and practice of this House to also allow members of the Treasury to bring forward their queries. But interestingly, these numbers of Treasury members questioning their own government seems to have increased. 32 questions from the Treasury, which amounts to 16.50% of questions listed under start questions. A whole array of subjects were brought forward. This to me, sir, is an indicator that there is some communication gap somewhere. And to me, that amounts to a failure of a government. We are not saying that there have never been these kinds of precedences in the past, but I'm saying that this precedent now is increasing, which to me justifies the fact that I stand here to discuss and participate on the failure of a governance. Sir, streetlights, we never got a chance to reply, though this reply to one of the start questions placed by one of our members, Barapsang, a lot of jargon was indicated in that reply, and I didn't understand what that jargon meant. This act, that act, this act. So we want streetlights. Municipal has no money to pay for repairs of streetlights. MECL says we don't have money. Now MLA funds are being utilized for street electrification. How fair is that? Just a concern and an observation. So MMR and IMR, we must have all seen the recent Niti Aayog report, alarming. What is going on? Why are we not able to attend? We heard yesterday one of the members inquiring about where is the maternity and child hospital. How many kilometers do people in these remote villages have to travel to get access to maternity facilities? So I'm also a little worried. I don't know how far it is true, but I'm always hearing mumbling, jumbling going on in the public saying MECL is now leasing all its land. That to me, I don't know. Is it true? Is it not true? We need to look at that. So, sports groups going and participating in national events without any support from its government, getting stuck in railway stations, getting stuck in bus stations, having no more money to buy food. What is going on? Look at Manipur, look at Mizoram, look at allocation of funds by West Bengal. I don't know, COVID should not put us on a permanent slumber when citizens are willing to travel across to participate in these national events. Very important for us to wonder whether there is failure of governance. So the HNLC peace talk is something which is very dear to my heart. We do not want to see this group have splinter groups, and we don't want to see that insurgency will return to the state of Meghalaya. We are hearing and reading newspaper reports where members of the Treasury and partners of the MDA are saying, yes, 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 talks are on. But in the start question, it says, no talks are on. Honorable Minister Home pronouncing that, no, Government of India is not interested in peace talks because of the instrument of accession and the annexed agreement. And then in this reply, there is saying, no, 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 there were no talks. Failure of governance in the eyes of the public who do not seem to understand what this government is doing. Yes or no? Home Minister resigning? No. In the House, I did not resign. I have not resigned. Very confusing. This is all indication of some lapse. MTC building at Police Bazaar. How? Who? When? During COVID? How did that happen? Is there a loan that was taken? Why loan? What do the people of Shillong want? What do MLAs think? Barik PWD complex. Now it has converted into a Khadi village project. Is that a mall or not a mall? Yes, no, we don't know. We need answers. It is but fair. I support the honorable member who says no to coke plants. Women are suffering. Children are suffering. The air that they're breathing is dangerously polluted and toxic. So water issues today, I am not satisfied. Still, we have to find out why there is this failure of water supply. So, this haze disbursement of the Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Board Fund to beneficiaries, still a big haze. So, I'm told there's a central bonded warehouse in this state today. How did that happen? When did that happen? Yes, it's under scrutiny by the judiciary. But for some things, there is no COVID. For other things, there is COVID. We need to figure out, sir, what is going on. So hence we say, there is a failure of governance. Sir, reply to start question 118. SF-10 not trained to man the border. Who will man the border? Somebody has to man the border. If there is no line of de facto control, there will be more bloodshed in the borders. We want to see that? No. Where is the sense of security of inhabitants, citizens in the border areas? We don't know. Sir, the plight of these families living in these interstate and international borders. No security. Complete loss of faith in the system. The unemployment, which has become more crucial and has become more critical because of the pandemic. People don't have employment, nor do they have the opportunity for employment. Look at the teaching that's happening during this pandemic. How many people can afford a smartphone? Is anybody listening? Is anybody looking what is going on? Schools reopened in Tura. One student was tested positive with COVID. So much of confusion, and hence we have no choice but to rise and say there is a failure of governance. So what is most hurtful is the morale of the police force in this state. Never have we seen a police force saying, I'm not going, or I'm not being allowed, or it's not safe for me to go to X, Y, Z locality. One part, one major chunk of this city was without police force. Now, every time there's a law and order situation in the city of Shillong or any part of the state forever, will the police stay away? Who's going to govern? Isn't that ground for us to say that there is no governance? Sir, the drug menace continues. There is a nexus. Is there no nexus? How is this drug passing our state? Where is it coming from? How come our kids who are now frustrated because of COVID and no school and no education falling prey to drugs? These are some of the issues, sir. The other thing that I wanted to highlight was, are we heading for herd immunity? Or is the government still not decided whether vaccination or no vaccination? Apparently, a lot of money was being given to the CCMTs across the state. My CCMT did not get any funds, not to my knowledge. So, sir, with these few submissions, I know I have 6 minutes. I've tried my best to manage my 6 minutes. I look forward to this government managing its government. They have 5 years. We are given 6 minutes. They have 5 years. And I hope to see some order in this disorder. With these few submissions, sir, I resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, sir. So I rise to participate in the short duration discussion brought by the Honourable Member from Rangas Saguna, that is related with the failures of the governance in the state. So when we talk about the governance, it meant for all the department, that the department we have in the state. So it doesn't mean only the one, but to point out only 1-2 department. It meant for almost all department. What we want, so we want that all departments to perform, also to transform, and also to do good for the people of the state. So the slogan of the government should be a minimum government and maximum governance. That's the slogan of the good governance in the country, even in our state, sir. So I urge the Honourable Chief Minister as the head of the Council of Ministers, even the state, that if we can urge his Council of Ministers, be the minister to be in office at just the time, if it is office, even outside, because the duty on minister to be visit all the states so that it will adjust in such a way that officers can meet, even people can meet. Second to that, sir, I also urge the the Chief Secretary. We have the Chief Secretary, we have the 2 additional Chief Secretary. It is a time, sir, that you understand the executive in these days that we could see that the work culture in almost all the departments have been affected very, very badly. We didn't see that so much of that spirit, how to work, how to build the state. It seems has gone down. But I'm sure that we have got with us a good secretary, the good chief secretary, the good additional chief secretary, and I'm sure they were running the executive in a proper way. The good message to all the government employees should do well for the state. But sir, I would like to bring some of the important points since you have already mentioned, because only 6 minutes, sir. So the first point, sir, I would like to urge the government. There is one construction of the bridge from Molai Nong Preng to Jayau Lai Dom. That is only going on now, but for information of the Chief Minister, luckily that Deputy Chief Minister is in charge of police here, that construction of bridge from Morai Opening to Jayao, we have the work, it is a very slow, sir. This is right to bring the information in the house that so much complaint from the people. Before that the people, they go to Jayao only in the matters of 10 minutes from that Morai Opening and reach Jayao only 10 minutes. But now 18 hours up to moving around. Second, that, sir, I would like to urge the Honorable the government that construction of the widening of Mawphor Omshing Road, that is also very slow. So for this, I'm very much thankful to the government because they have a LMAC for the double lane for the Mawphor Omshing for this road. But for the information of the house, road is very slow. Not only that, actually the government should be thanks to the owners of the land. They have to give in the land free of cost without any charging. Now you have already called me, also write them in the letter to the executive engineer Shillong Central Division Purdy that they may take back the land. If you take back the land, it will be a good loss for the people of that area, even the state as a whole. That's why, sir, I would like to urge the Honorable Chief Minister to take care for this project. Then we have another project, sir, that is for overall interest of the state, that the Shillong Polytechnic project, that engineering wing, that work also is a very slow as of today. We didn't see that that the project is moving. Because why? Because maybe one part because of the COVID, other one that it seemed because of the contractors are not getting of the fund of the money. That's why I have go slow for the construction. But sir, there's one more issue. It's already raised in this morning that the Greater Shillong water supply scheme phase 3. It is important to complete at the earliest. Not only in my constituency, because from this GSWS phase 3, we will get water for my constituency, even for the city of Shillong. So another one, sir, again, I request the Honorable Chief Minister and also the Home Minister that suspension of the top police officer who kills the ex-NC leader, Mr. C. Thank you. It is very important. We hope that the government will take we will take him at the call. Let pending inquiry will go on. Suspension is very important at this hour, sir. But sir, there is one important issue that the House have already been passed, that ILP in the state. So inline permit is very important. That I've already asked in my question, but it is very important. I urge the Honorable Chief Minister to pursue of this matter. This is a very important. People have full faith and confidence in the House. We have a past resolution, but that resolution will not be end only the four wall of this House. But we have to pursue in Delhi, and I'm sure that people have been expecting about this ILP to come into action. So we have another act. People have expect the ILP of not getting very soon. Why not the Meklia Resident Safety Security Act, which have already been passed in 2016? So this is very important. I could see this is a very important act that it can control about the illegal migration of the people from outside. So even the COVID, we have seen it these days. People are coming freely because there is no proper checking mechanism from the side of the police. That's why people from outside they come free in our state. But implementation of MRSSA, that is very, very important to check of illegal migration in the state. So there's one important point, sir. I urge the Honorable Chief Minister that in Secretariat they have the casual employee. The casual employee, they have been passed in the year 2012 and appointed as casual peon in 2013. Around 126 candidates have been appointed. Now running for 9 years, but all these candidates, as of them, they have been working only as a casual employee. But sir, I urge the honorable Chief Minister. Yes, sir. Urge the honorable Chief Minister if we can take care and regularize of the job of this casual employee. It will help them in the future. So there's only one point, sir. So I would like to sort of bring the knowledge of the House about the delay of the construction of the medical college here in Shillong and Tura. Shillong not even started. Those in Tura little bit have only been moved ahead, but we expect to complete at the earliest for the benefit of us in the state. Last, sir, This, the Making a Right to Service Bill 2020, which have already been passed in the House, but I don't know whether it has been a function on the state. That is like to get information from the Honorable Chief Minister, because like this, the intention of the government to empower the people. Up to how much this act have been moved ahead, that is for the interest of people at large.
First off, I'd like to talk about the Power Department. I had raised this issue in the previous session as well, and this time as well, I had brought in under Start Question 50, but unfortunately we couldn't discuss this in the floor of the House. But this is regarding the transformers which have failed. But the villagers, even after paying their power dues, after clearing their dues also, they have to wait for another month or 2 months or 3 months for the transformer to be restored. Now, power is a necessity. It's a necessity for the people. Now, I can see that honorable members who have already taken part in this discussion, time and again have been telling and submitting to this August House about the problems that the people are facing because of the power shortage and the power failures. Now, this failure of transformers is a genuine problem. Especially in Garo Hills, there's complete failure of governance regarding this replacement of transformers. They are taking almost more than 1 month to replace, even after payment of their dues. And especially in my constituency, sir, I have time and again called up the officers in charge to find out what is the reason. And the reason being there are no available transformers, sir. The transformer which is to be replaced goes all the way from Shillong. And it takes a long time for it to reach. That is what I've been told. I don't know what is the exact reason. Now, power is all the more important because of the online classes that is happening because of the COVID. Now, online classes cannot take place without mobile phones, without the laptops, and it is very important for the parents that the children get the proper classes. So, because of COVID, they can't even go to the nearby villages where they used to go and charge their mobile phones. Now, it is a big issue. Now, I had also asked in my start question about online classes, whether the government is giving any assistance, whether it has given or whether it is planning to give for the government schools. We all know that private schools are giving online classes, but we also know, and it is a fact, that government schools are not giving online classes, especially for primary classes. Primary education. There's going to be 2 years of gap in primary education, which is very important. It is a foundation for education of our future generation, of our children. And that gap is going to be very, very visible in the near future. Now, while talking about education, I would also like to touch upon the plight of the teachers. The 1,251 numbers of SSA teachers across the state, they haven't received their salaries for 4 months now. Now in Southwest Garo Hills District, the recently appointed MTET teachers who passed MTET and who were appointed as well, I don't know what is happening, but even they have not, the LP school teachers have not got their salaries for 4 months as well. So I think this is a complete failure when it comes to education as well. Now, when it comes to weaving and sericulture, I have a lot of weavers in my constituency, sir. When I look at the programs and the projects taken up under this, there has been nothing significant. I even brought it to the start question. It was in start question number 39. I found out that for sericulture, only wages were being paid, and then for handloom, for about 4 self-help groups, yarns were given. It is next to nothing, sir. When we talk about nothing, it is as if this department doesn't exist. In my constituency and in the district of Southwest Garo Hills, we have a lot of weavers. The number of weavers and the ratio to the size of the area as well as the population, I might say, it might be bigger than any other state and any other district. So therefore, sir, it is being neglected, and I would like to urge upon the government of the day to look into this department. Now, sir, honorable members from Saipung and other members have also discussed about the illegal coke factories. Sir, our beloved member, honorable member who just left us, he was the chairman of the Environment Committee, and the last issue that he took up as the chairman of the Environment Committee was regarding the illegal coke factories which have come up. And I think it is very important for us to find out why these people are getting so emboldened to invest crores of rupees for illegal activities. We have to find out.
Please find out.
There's complete failure. Now, in my constituency, the PW department is frustrated because of the conditions of the road. Honorable member from Mahendraganj has also mentioned in detail what is the condition of the roads. Now, I will not go since I have a shortage of time. So, I would just like to request through you, Mr. Chairman, sir, that the government of the day, in consultation with the PWD department, the officers who are posted there, they know what is the condition of the roads, sir. It is very important for the people of the district to have a good condition of that road, because after so many years we have received this beautiful road and it is being damaged within a span of 2 years.
Sir, the issue that I would like to take up are very few. The first issue is related to the ILP, Inner Line Permit. So the issue of the Inner Line Permit is a long-standing demand of the people of the state. But unfortunately, the state government has failed to aggressively pursue the matter with the center to ensure Meghalaya also get ILP, as was done for Manipur in 2019. The Manipur government had sent its resolution up to 3 times, after which the state was given ILP by the center. Meghalaya government should have been more aggressive in its action to ensure ILP is given to Meghalaya, given the fact that it is the oldest and the long-pending demand of the northeastern region for protection of the indigenous people from the mandate influx and the illegal immigration. So it has been 5 years ever since MRSSA has been passed, but unfortunately there is no sign of the government implementing even the first phase of setting up the entry or the exit points across the state. I would like to know, where are the district task forces which are mandated by the MRSSA to regulate the entry of the people from outside into the state? So the MRSSA 2016 was passed without any objection by the governor or the center, yet the present government failed to implement it. Now the excuse given by this present government is that the amendment of the MRSSA is lying pending with the MHA for examination. So what happened to the resolution that was passed by this August House in 2019, December? It has become a mockery of all the 60 MLAs who adopted the resolution in the House, and that has been disrespected by the union government, sir. So during the visit of the Union Home Minister recently to Shillong, the people of the state had a lot of hope and expectation for an announcement or a statement on the ILP. But to utter disappointment and dismay, the Union Home Minister was silent on the whole matter in spite of the NGOs meeting him to remind about the implementation of the ILP in the state. I urge upon the government to clarify to the people of the state on the status of the ILP. So coming to education, sir, the matter relating to the creation of posts and shifting of 12541 existing SSA teachers. Sir, I'd like to draw the attention of your Honorable Chair to Rule 275A. The Minister concerned, when the matter relating to his portfolio is under discussion in this House, shall not leave the House without the previous permission of the Speaker. Sir, the Honorable Education Minister is not present here, sir. That is just for the records, and I know that the Honorable Chief Minister is doing all the recordings, but looks like this whole government is burdened on the shoulders of the Chief Minister alone. Sir, the norms have been lying with it for the demands of the SSA teachers for the State Implementation Society to the State Education Department on regular basis, as per provision of the RTE and the SSA norms have been lying with the state government since the last 2 years. I do not know the reason why the state government is delaying, and I request the state government to look into this immediately. Again, all the 12,541 SSA teachers have not been paid for the last 3 months, from June to August 2021. I do not know what is the reason, sir. I request the Honorable Chief Minister to kindly clarify on this. The deficit school teachers have not been paid the DCRG rupees 10 lakh and the pension benefits after retirements. This is a long pending issue for all the retired teachers, and I wonder why the government is ignoring and harassing these retired teachers, sir. Sir, I would like to come to another issue that is relating to the urban affairs. Sir, recently there were 2 news items that caught my attention. One is the so-called business center cum tourism at Police Bazaar, and the other is the Khadi Plaza market complex at Barik Point, sir. So since these are such high-profile projects, I would like to know from the government whether an architectural competition or tender have been called. Similarly, shouldn't local architects be involved since they have better knowledge about the ground scenario? Is it not illegal to commission such a big project directly to any firm? By the way, who is the design firm here? The news item mentions the tender for the construction, which implies that the architectural design has already been finalized. So we heard that the government had called for a design competition 2 years back for an iconic structure at Barik, and the Bangalore firm, in a joint venture with a local architect, has won the competition. So what happened to it? I believe it was designed to merge the central library with Barik Point and has all the facilities of parking, public utilities like made in Meghalaya products and shops. The awarded design was created as a facility to commemorate the celebration of the 50 years of statehood. Why can't the proposed Khadi Plaza be part of this design that has been awarded? We need more green open spaces and less of markets if we were to use our urban spaces judiciously, sir. Sir, I would like to raise one important issue relating to the spending of the government money. So the government has spent a lot of money through the Meghalaya Basin Development Authority, sir, MBDA. So in 2018-19, an amount of rupees 300 lakhs was received, and an amount of rupees 1,090 lakhs, means 1090.40 lakhs was spent. Again in 2019-20, an amount of rupees 650 lakhs was received, and the amount spent was 2,669.92 lakhs. And in 2021, an amount of rupees 708.53 lakhs was received, and the amount spent by the MBDA was rupees 1,226.91. So the total amount spent from 2012 to 2021 is 215.73 crores. It comes to 21,573.91 lakhs, sir. So this huge spending needs to be examined by some competent authority, sir, on the physical and the financial achievements. A huge number of consultants have been appointed by the MBDA since 2015-16 till date, and a huge amount of 6 crore 13 lakhs 691 have been spent, sir. This also needs to be given a detailed examination of the actual need to engage so many consultants from outside the state, sir. I have another issue relating to the students' problems, sir, on the online classes, sir. They do not have, most of them do not have smartphones, especially the poor people in the rural area. What happened to the program we had initiated about the tablets that were supposed to be given to the students? Last point, sir, the land custom station in Balat requires to be opened if we have to activate the economic activities between India and Bangladesh. I request the state government to kindly look into this matter and expedite its conversation or its by taking up this matter with the Ministry of External Affairs so that the economic activities in the borders are activated.
I would like to submit before you, Mr. Speaker, sir, that maybe given a little time so that I can dwell upon some important areas of concern that's confronting the state, that's confronting the people. I would like to make it abundantly clear that I will be dwelling with a complete sincere intention to draw the attention of the government and for urging the government for course correction, the larger interests of the people and the state as a whole. It is not going to be a blame game, but it will be definitely directed towards that sincere intent. So I would like to urge upon the government of the day under the leadership of the incumbent Chief Minister to take cognizance of the concerns. Many members have already placed things in an appropriate manner, and I'm happy to see that there were more of a suggestion more than allegation. So I think that is a healthy way of bringing issues before the notice of the government. And before I dwell on few important issues which I would like to flag before the government, my attention has been drawn to the reference of the 30th September instance in Garo Hills. I think it is very important for the August House also to understand what was the background and how it culminated and why we should not use that as a means to point a finger at the government of the past. Now we understand that ambush issue was an issue which attracted huge debate and deliberations across the people who felt it was necessary. And those deliberations and discussions revolved around with an intent for ensuring that the government take cognizance of them and get it corrected. So that is exactly what has happened. Today, the people of the state has the record in our hand that the ambush after whatever measures were taken collectively with the involvement of the members of this August House stand much more vibrant, competent. In spite of the instances that ultimately used to confront the ambush prior to that. And that unfortunate incident happened. What did I do? I was the Deputy CM in charge. I took cognizance of the sentiments of the people. I stood firm and tried to demonstrate my sincere solidarity with the people and resigned. That's how we take people into confidence. Have people condemned me? Thrown me out of the political circulation after that? No. That was 2005. So I would like to reiterate that yes, something happened that time. For whatever reasons, actions were taken against the concerned officers, even the minister in charge, the then Deputy Chief Minister in charge. It was myself. I demonstrated solidarity, respected the sentiment of the people of the state. So please don't repeat this one in this August House. Frankly speaking, we have put an end to this controversy because of a legislative exercise which was embarked upon by the government of that time. Because the first time when Ambush Act was enacted in this August House, the headquarter of the ambush was not indicated in the Principal Act. I remind that the headquarter of Meghalaya Board of School Education was not indicated in the Principal Act. It was during my time that just to put an end to this controversy, we put as to where the headquarter of the Meghalaya Board of School Education shall be, and we did it. And today you see the amended act that the headquarter of Meghalaya Board of School Education will be at Tura. That's why we are able to today put an end to this usual pulls and pushes for this one small institution which was established in Tura. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I just referred because I had to have some responsibility to share this to have a clarity. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to only seek the indulgence of the government for course correction on few things. One is that, look at the precarious fiscal health of the state. And in addition to that, please, I think it is important for all of us to remember that the FRBM Act has also been amended to facilitate government to borrow more, increase the fiscal deficit level. Therefore, you have the luxury of borrowing more. But it doesn't mean that borrowing more and then funding programs is going to help us to really take cognizance of where our fiscal health is and to have, very conscious and judicious way of spending and embarking upon initiatives in as far as spending of the public money is concerned. Therefore, I would like to refer to one instance when the state was confronted by a very serious situation after the NGT ban on the prevailing manner of coal mining, which was considered as unregulated and not scientific, and not in conformity with various statutory laws in 2014. What happened? 2014-15, our GSDP drastically fell to 1.2. Can you imagine? That was the situation, which was reversed. If I'm correct, it was 1.2 or 1.6. Look at the vibrant capability of this beautiful state. We recovered from the following year immediately. So therefore, I think the potentiality that we have as a state is tremendous. We are capable of recovering from any stress. That is the strength with which we are vested with this responsibility to take care of the state. But in spite of that, what has happened is that the number of initiatives, there is a failure of the government to take cognizance of these very important initiatives and complete them. What happened to Medical College, Shillong and Tura? Why is it in standstill? Today, how many of our young boys and girls are ready to become doctors? How are we depriving by delaying and delaying? Please take cognizance of this. Please complete it. This is something which we dedicated for our people who are committed to join this profession and serve our people. How many of our young men and women will become professionals and be teachers and create a vibrant environment for the ultimate future growth? What happened to the State Technical University, which was established through enactment of law by this August House, with a headquarters in Tura? Look at how people were so sentimental even in respect of the narrative which was circulated amongst the people indicating that Ambo's headquarters was being shifted or there was a move for bifurcation. Only the hearsay. Because I want to again put on record, when the then government was there in 2008 and 9, with our late Dr. Dorbar Roy as the Chief Minister, I put an unstarred question here in this August House. Whether there was, at any point of time, a move by the government to bifurcate the Meghalaya Board of School Education. The categorical reply in unstarred question was, no, sir. So, friends, that's why the stand is very clear. Sometimes, yes, that's why there is a collective need for ensuring that misinformations are avoided as much as possible. Today we are talking about the State Technical University. We have the NEHU. What is the status of NEHU? Are we proud of that NEHU? But Technical University, legislated by our own house, is our own baby. You can have your own VC. We have appointed a VC. We wanted to ensure that it starts functioning. Please take cognizance of this and see that it is functional. I am urging on behalf of the people of the state. Your and our generation next will be teachers there. I think they will find pride to become professors, HODs, vice chancellors. And we don't have to beg government of India, oh, please don't post this man as a VC, we don't accept. At least that will be our own. And what happened to the College of Architecture and Urban Planning? What happened to the engineering college that was sanctioned under RUSA? Why are they in standstill? Aren't they the assets created for our state to make our state vibrant destination of education and stop the flight of capital by forcing our children to go outside and pursue their higher education? These are initiatives with the vision that we share along with the people, and particularly the vision of our younger generation. With a young man occupying the office of the Chief Minister, I firmly believe that he will understand and take cognizance of these delayed programs. What happened to the Engineering College of Ampati? What is happening to the College of Commerce and Science that was funded with an idea of ensuring that the educational institutions spread beyond the state capital and our district capital? What happens when all the children have to converge to Shillong to pursue their degree courses? You choke the traffic jam. You create a standstill of traffic movement and add on to pollution. Friends, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think government should take cognizance of. That's why we are saying failures. Please take cognizance. You may have number of initiatives, but the continuity of the initiatives, which is going to create a turnaround in all different sectors, are crucial for the government to take cognizance of and pursue them appropriately. Then, another thing that we achieved, restoration of peace. How difficult it was. I remember every time, every day, I used to be questioned and confronted by our civil society organizations. Can you restore peace? Can you restore peace? Can you restore peace? We did. Look at the western part. Every individual who joined various militant outfits returned. Every individual. Not even one was left. Not even one. We call it in Garo, Samna Bolna. Not even for Samna Bolna was left. Everybody returned. What is happening? I have been urging the government, please have a State Security Commission meeting. Yesterday, on the sidelines of one of the meetings, which was chaired by the Chief Minister in order to decide upon the CIC, I have again reminded, please have this meeting. That is the forum where this leader of the opposition, who had the privilege of dealing with this real complexity of problem of dealing with militancy, insurgency, and restoration of peace, can share my whatever experiences I have in a humble way, in the larger good, larger interest of the state. It is not a forum where I will be speaking something else. It is a forum where I'll be sharing my experiences, the inputs, which is so crucial and important for our people. Now look at how we handle people who are convinced to give up their association with all those proscribed organizations and take the bold decision to come over ground and join the national mainstream. What is the mechanism? You have a check and balance between the home police, then the political department, and create an enabling environment to create a confidence for these friends who have somehow, for whatever reasons, decided to be part of those teams who wage war against the state. They have come back. What is the mechanism? Follow up so that they don't slip back. If there is an indication that these members, after having joined the national mainstream, are having a tendency to engage in some unlawful activities, you activate the system immediately. There is a system which is available with the government, and that is what should be done. And those are the things which we discuss in State Security Commission meeting. So these are areas since we need to collectively look at our responsibilities. If the state sings, we all sing. What is going to happen if the whole restoration of peace that we have achieved slip back and we are back to square one? I think it will be a very painful experience for our generation next. Therefore, let us not have complacency. Okay, you are taking up some beautiful roads, taking up some important developmental programs. You know what was the situation? The contractor didn't have the courage to go and take up works. That was the situation when I was the Chief Minister. Today, peaceful environment. The work which cannot be completed in 3 years because of the law and order problem, because of insurgency, because of militancy, can be completed in 18 months. How much time did we take to complete this Shillong bypass? That was the fastest ever road project completed in the whole Northeast of this size. I took pride. I told the Honorable Prime Minister, how much time did we take to complete this Shillong, Nongstoy and Johai road, in spite of the militancy which inflicted the western part of the state? In 2012 and part 2013 during election, I was already driving across this road, beautiful road, more than 100 kilometers speed. Honorable Speaker himself had the privilege of driving the same road. Even before 2013, how many years did we took? But friends, in certain areas, in certain pockets, where there are very difficult way of putting the secured environment for the builders and contractors, we couldn't do it. Therefore, though we signed an agreement with the World Bank to fund the PMGSY, contractors did not come. One, contractors were burdened with 6, 7, 8 works. Some of the contractors from Khasis have to be convinced to take works in Garo Hills. So difficult. But today things are better. You can do better. We have handed over a very peaceful state. There was no more militancy. Not even one member in western part. Even the eastern part has been under control. But one thing is very clear. Please handle with care when we are dealing with members who have agreed to join the national mainstream. Dealing of whatever way, the whole thing should not be said here. I think I will speak it in the Security Commission meeting if the Chief Minister is pleased to call it immediately. Please don't deal with people whom we convince to come because of the trust and confidence on what we say and what we promise. If we are found to have failed in our promise, it will deter others from believing us. It will have its own ramification for the future. Another one is that the whole issue of the revenue. Why are you not taking cognizance of what we have been saying? It is not to point a finger, but it is because everybody sees that the state is losing and losing and losing. Yes. There are so many things. Even this, the ordinance which was promulgated prior to the act itself, Meghalaya Settlement of Areas Under State Taxation Act, Ordinance 2020. I would like to urge the government to repeal this act. This is because of a valid reason to protect the interests of the state. Because any tax that has been collected by any dealer, which has been collected on behalf of the government from the consumers, cannot be retained by the dealers. And there is a Supreme Court ruling saying that that kind of exercise amounts to enrichment of few, and that is illegal. Therefore, even without having to force anybody to go to seek judicial intervention, I think it is only appropriate and prudent for the government to take cognizance of what I have submitted. I will send a letter addressed to the Honorable Chief Minister to take a look at this and see, yes, if this is something which is completely inconsistent, not inconsistent with the law of the land, because the pronouncement of the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court has not been overruled by any other judgment. So therefore, it becomes a law. So I think rather than dwelling on this, but I will send a letter. And another one, MP Act 2019, September. Then there is a notification by Government of Meghalaya also. I have written a letter to the Chief Secretary to address this concern and for non-compliance of the notification by various authorities. Who will take action against those authorities, the officers, who are not implementing or enforcing this notification? I'm afraid they will all go to jail. Once we start demanding action, legal action, these are law enacted by Parliament and appropriately adopted and notified by government. Look at this notification. I would like to refer to the notification of the state government itself. TPT, that is Transport 101/2010, Part 1, 247, 16, 9, 19. And there is another notification again. I think that was on 25th. So these are notifications which should be enforced. These are to create a deterrence of all the illegalities that is taking place across the roads, across the highways, across the state highways. I think everyone is seeing it. There is a narrative circulating. It is shameful to us. I'm afraid I may have to say I quit politics because I don't want to be painted with the same brush. People are looking at all the politicians as belonging to the same class, birds of same feather flock together. I'm afraid if we don't correct things and change the perception that is prevailing, that is circulating, people who mean business and who mean to serve the people will probably be discouraged from joining politics, I'm afraid. Therefore, we must encourage our young ones to study more on social studies, on political science, on history, and join politics, and be the best politicians to determine the future of our state and future of our generations. Therefore, we must be people who must be able to lead by example. Yes, we have pulls and pushes while we run our political parties, but that should not be the reason for us to compromise and dilute our position in the eyes of people. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, I urge upon government to take cognizance of any small irregularities, even the schemes which are being implemented under central sponsor scheme, Jal Jeevan Yojana. Yesterday there was a information received in one place called Munabari. The villagers stopped the work because the way the work was being done was not inconsistent with the resolution and decision adopted by the villagers, because the guideline speaks about that. The schemes have to be formulated based on the need felt by the villagers. So these are areas of concern. Please take cognizance, and please ensure that the Honorable Supreme Court's order of 3rd July 2019 is enforced immediately. The coal, as per the inventory which has been submitted before the Honorable NGT and Honorable Supreme Court, prior to that judgment, declaring around 32 plus metric ton of coal need to be auctioned. There is an auctioning of these in piecemeal, in 1,000 metric tons. What does it indicate? I have said that those claimed coal of 32 metric ton, 32 lakh metric ton is already missing. It's not there in the coal-bearing district. So please take cognizance of this and verify. If the Chief Minister so desires, I will accompany him. Let us go and take action against the officers who have allowed this to happen.
Please.
Because that protects the interests of the state. This is relating to the huge disappearance of wealth, which also generates revenue for the state. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think these are important areas where there is a palpable deficiencies, visible failures. Please take cognizance of them and a sincere attempt to correct. I want to point out, just by reminding only one more important program, please take advantage of huge amount of fund which has been approved by the Ministry of Finance, agreed by the financial institutions, international financial institutions, Japan International Cooperation Agency for the National Highways, expedite them. World Bank program for Meghalaya Integrated Transport Program. It goes beyond road. With the author of that program, that's why I'm sharing it. What was the target given? By 2019, 31st December, the state government was required to spend minimum target of 1,000 crore. Till now, how much money has been spent? These are delay because of whatever reasons. These are equivalent to failure to judiciously use the money which is available to take care of all our dilapidated roads. That Damra, Mendipathar, Resu road, all these AMPT road and many other roads. Therefore, please expedite these works and get an opportunity to efficiently utilize them for the larger good. I hope the government will take cognizance of these issues. Many more other issues we can always be available for the government to discuss even outside the House if called for. And we have done it on many counts, which was initiated by the Honorable Speaker, but for many other issues, we are one call away for the larger good of the people. This short duration motion, discussion, I'm sure, will enable the state government to take cognizance of all those concerns and go forward with a whole commitment to do whatever is needed to correct things and be honest to our purpose and fulfill our purpose.
But again, we've seen that it is not a short duration, sir. It's again a very long duration. So maybe, sir, when you amend the rules,
We will do that.
so you can add the word long duration discussion. That would be more appropriate, sir. Because it seems the word short is not being at all any meaningful to the House. At the same time, sir, I would like to thank all the other members also who have participated. And while saying that, sir, I understand that it's a very, very important short duration, and that's why you have given time for it. And I would like to thank you on behalf of all the members for having admitted this and also allowed them to express the concerns that they had on this issue. Sir, it was more like a no confidence motion discussion, to be frank. It was more like a governor's debate, more like a budget debate, where we touched almost every aspect. I will try to satisfy the members, but sir, I think you will also appreciate that it'll be impossible for me to touch every single point, though I have noted all of them down myself individually, sir. Sir, having said that, I appreciate the way that the Honorable LO had concluded the entire debate, where he mentioned about the fact that we should constructively look at this entire debate and try to see all these points that are being mentioned by everybody as a positive note and a suggestion and concerns, and try to address them. I appreciate that, sir. But at the same time, sir, if you, of course, heard the previous speakers, the tone was not very similar. I have no complaints about that. But all I'm saying is, sir, that I need to address all of them. So I will address the Honorable LO's concerns in the way he expressed, and obviously the other members' concerns in the way they expressed, sir. So first of all, an honorable member mentioned about the time, that hundreds of questions were there, and that there was not enough time given to these questions. So first of all, let me, sir, remind the House how you have tried to control so that every question is given sufficient time. You have mentioned it time and again. We have sometimes spent 50 minutes on one question. Obviously, sir, we can't cover all the questions. So therefore, it is the responsibility of the members also to realize that if they want to, they must be precise about things. So blaming the number of days is not the solution. And number two, sir, the whole of Wednesday, the ruling is sitting here alone. We just, all of us, it was like a in-house discussion taking place. And nobody from the opposition was here. It was their day. It was your day. Private members' bill. You wanted to take up an issue, you took it up. You walked out. You should have come back if you were concerned about those issues. Why didn't you come back? Why did you waste the whole day and the time and the money that the House has to spend? This is public money. Every day we spend lakhs of rupees to run this House. It is your responsibility too to maintain that timing. So please don't blame us. In fact, I should say, isn't this failure of the opposition? Isn't this the failure of opposition to take your time to raise the issues of the people? But it looks like you were more concerned about playing politics and shouting along the corridor. So we should keep politics out when there are important discussions to be made. If the honorable members were so concerned about the issue, they should have used that time given to them. It's sad that they have failed in their responsibility as the opposition to do that. So the opposition has been mentioning a lot about the failure of this government. Sir, I need to address this. And I have no other way but to compare. Sir, I was talking to one young girl, a relative of mine. She must be about 10 years old. So she was asking me, what are you doing tomorrow? So I told her that I will be in the assembly. So she asked me, what is assembly? I said, in democracy, we have opposition and ruling, and the public votes for a certain number of members, and the team that has maximum number of members forms the government, and the other side is the opposition. And in the assembly, the opposition is able to answer or question the government on different important issues of the people. and why, say, the building wasn't completed, why the road wasn't completed. I was explaining this to her. And then I told her that, so we are now in the ruling, last 3 years, and the party that was in the opposition was there for 8 years, and now they are in the opposition, and now we are in the, or rather, not 8 years, even more than that, almost about 10, 15 years. And we were in the opposition that time. She said, okay, so what is happening now? So I said, tomorrow they will ask me questions, why this road is not made, why that road is not made. So I asked her, what do I do? She said, you ask them, what did you do in the last 10 years then? Sir, it's very easy to point fingers. So there was a time when in the vaccination, we were the last in the country. Worst, ranked number 28. 28 ranking, sir. That is failure. That is failure. Ranking 28 in terms of vaccination. Today we are ranked number 3. This is success, sir. I want to ask, is this failure or success? In PMGSY, we had hundreds of kilometers of road that were not completed. Hundreds of kilometers. Government of India was ready to blacklist us. But then our Deputy Chief Minister, the entire PWD team, the chief engineers, they worked day and night. And today, hundreds of kilometers of roads have been constructed. Government of India has, in fact, informed us that the performance of Meghalaya is good, that we're going to move ahead with another phase. Now, is that failure or is this failure? When the blacklisted projects of those government earlier, we have managed to revive them and worked and finished those projects. MG and REGA. Today, we are spending more than 1,300 crores. There was a time, 5 years back, when our amount was not even 600 crores. We have increased our expenditure, MG and REGA, from 600 to 1,300 crore. Is that failure or is that success, sir? So there was a time before 2018 when we had just 3,000 self-help groups under NRLM and other programs. Just 3,000. We distributed 18 crores to them. Government of India pulled us up. Says, what is happening? Why aren't you able to create more self-help groups? Why aren't you able to complete the work and ensure that more groups are formed and distribute the money we gave? So we worked hard. The team, the officials worked day and night. And today from 3,000 groups, we have reached 33,000 groups. From 18 crores, we have reached 200 crores. So is that failure or success? Sir, this assembly building, I don't know what we call it, been here for almost 20 years. And before 2018, nobody could decide what to do, no decision was made. But then when this government came in 2018, we made a decision that we will start the construction, and sir, today in your leadership, we are almost about to complete the new assembly building. Is this failure or is this success, sir? I would like to ask the opposition. Why did it take 18 years for you not to decide? Sir, again, I really don't like to compare this, but I'm left with no choice when the opposition brings up these issues. There were times, sir, I used to be member of parliament, so I used to have these Disha meetings. You go to the villages, and senior citizens used to be there, and they're very, very vocal, they're very active. So they used to, so half the public used to be the old people, because they also had time and they liked to have these meetings and discussions. They used to tell me, when will we get our old age pension? I used to say, huh? What happened? How long has it been? It's been 9 months. Somebody would say it's been 12 months. Some say I've not got for the last 2 years. So this was the kind of situation that our senior citizens had to face. And as soon as we came into the government, we decided that in order to avoid any kind of inconvenience to our senior citizens, instead of waiting for the money or the demand or the whatever the letters to come to us asking for the amount, we would release money in advance for 3 months to ensure that our old people, our senior citizens got this in advance. And in most of the blocks today, sir, most of the blocks, there could be 5-10% problem, I admit that, but 90% of the areas, our senior citizens today are getting the old age pension, our disabled and differently abled people are getting, the single mother and the widows also getting their pensions on time, as their monthly remuneration on time, and even the master rolls. Yesterday, the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister mentioned in his reply that there was a time that the master rolls had to wait for months and months. But today, in most of the departments, again, sir, I will not claim that we have completely resolved it. It takes time. There are a lot of master rolls in a lot of departments. But majority of them today, majority of them receive their salaries along with the other employees of the state government on full time, sir. Is this failure or is this success? I would like to ask the opposition, sir. You look at water supply scheme. Sir, there was a time when the PHE engineers and officials didn't know what to do. Why? Because they had no work. There was no money for PHE. And PHE officials for 2 to 3 years stopped all the schemes. There was no work going on at the grassroots, sir. There was a time like this, sir. But then as soon as we came in to government in 2018, sir, we looked at the different central government schemes. We budgeted properly. We realized that there are certain funds that come in for PWD. There are certain funds that come in for water resources. There are funds that come in for other departments. But somehow PHE, because of the discontinuity of JNNURM and other programs, the PHE department was in a blank. And so we decided that we will use the donor ministry funds. We will use the RIDF funds, and we will give from state budget funds to PHE because they don't get it. And after we started doing that, sir, the PHE department started getting activated. Today, Nongstoin water supply scheme, which had been in the cold storage for years and years, today is almost at the end of completion. The Ramroy water supply scheme, where it was in a cold storage, the honorable member and minister took me there. It was, of course, a very tactful way he did it, because he called me for a different program, but he took me for the water supply scheme also. And then he made me commit to the people that we will complete the water supply. But looking at the condition of the people, I just couldn't say no. So I said, yes, I will do it, but in a phase-wise manner. And not only that, today, if you see the JJM program that's going on, yes, a lot of members have discussed about it and questioned that what is this JJM program, why is it doing it? Sir, the people who are questioning this, are they saying that they don't want people to get water supply? What is the kind of message we're giving? Are you saying that you don't want your people to get water supply? It's our responsibility, sir, to find ways and means to do it. And this government has done it. And we are ensuring that most of the people will get water supply scheme. And having said that, I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy way. It's tough. Maybe about 60-70% we'll be able to get the source. In that also, we'll have to create sources in different areas. For the rest, 30-40% challenge is there. But does that mean that we just don't do anything? Does that mean that we just stop the JJM program? Sir, I don't approve of this stand and this attitude. It is the objective and the work of this government to try to ensure that we're able to achieve these goals. One of the honorable members, in fact, sir, I don't know if you were able to follow all the points mentioning. Every time they were speaking, sir, by mistake or I don't know how, somewhere they would end up praising the government and saying it has done something. Though they are talking about failure, but somewhere the good points also came out because it's there. They couldn't help it. They couldn't help it. Now, one of the members mentioned about the flights. Sir, there was a time when the Umroi airport was becoming a complete, go down. Nothing was happening there. Just completely shut. Not a single flight took off from Umroi. No movement took place. But within the last 3 years, today there's a flight to Kolkata, there's a flight to Imphal, there's a flight to Agartala, to Arunachal Pradesh, and very soon, sir, we have of course started the Delhi flight also. The Delhi flight has problems because of COVID. We had issues because the people were not coming in, and it's not a program that's funded by Government of India in the terms of the Udan. But we have ensured that sufficient funding is given from our side to start the Delhi flights. And those flights also have started, and will ensure that the frequency of this also increases. So isn't this improvement? Again, I don't like to use the word success because I don't believe that one can call it for your own work. But these are improvements that we've made. Today, if you look at the focus program that we have for the farmers, for 48, 49 years, no government had thought about the farmers. We spent thousands of crores for other programs. We spent thousands of crores for salaries, whether it's the government employees, whether it's the teachers. But then the 4.5 lakh family members of different producer groups and farmers were not getting anything for the last 48 years. And that's the reason we changed this name of this ministry and called it Farmers Welfare, Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And there was a reason behind it, because we had already decided in the first year itself that we must start a welfare program for the farmers. I'm happy to inform everybody. It's sad to see that we don't get too much of media coverage on this particular program. I don't know the reason why, but this program is a program that is helping the farmer where it matters. A direct transfer is being made to the producer groups that are actually running this. And this will actually transform the lives. The small expenditures they need to buy seeds, the small expenditure they need to buy the water pipe, these are the kind of expenditures now they will not have to depend on the middlemen to do this. These are the kind of programs. Today, for the first time, the entrepreneurs are being recognized. Never in the history of our state were our nano and small-time entrepreneurs ever recognized. You go and ask our entrepreneurs today, they have a place to go. They can go to the incubation centers, to the prime hubs. They can talk to the officials. They can talk to professors from IIM and ask them, how do I make a business plan? How do I apply to the bank for loan? Where are the suppliers who can give me the machinery that I want? Sir, there was never a program like this. And for the first time, the entrepreneurs are enthusiastic in the state. And they are really wanting to move forward. And this is what this government has done. In regards to our administration, the Right to Public Service Delivery Act, it's a landmark act. A lot of people don't realize it, but this will transform the way we provide service at the grassroots level. Earlier, there was no desire, I should say, no desire to ensure that public should get a service within a stipulated time. So if somebody applied for a caste certificate, it could take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, even a year. But nobody would be liable or nobody would be responsible for it. But this act today has ensured that the public will be able to get the services that they deserve at the right time, within a time frame that is there. And not only that, sir, we'll be combining this. We'll be combining this with logistical help. We'll be combining this with manpower help, with IT help. And when all of these aspects combine together, and this act, which is, we are very close to, in fact, constituting the committee for this, and maybe in a few months' time, we should be having this ready, that the commission that is. But at the same time, the fact that the services at the grassroots are already active and it is already applicable, but the commission also will be in place very shortly. So these are the kind of aspects that have been done, sir. And I don't want to harp too much on all these matters. People talked about the maternal mortality rate. And if you look at the maternal mortality rate, sir, again, this is not satisfactory for me. But after we started the mother program, I'm happy to inform the House that 8 out of 11 districts have not reported a single death in July 2021. We had a reduction of almost 30% in the maternal deaths in the month of August compared to last year. The overall trend is showing that the maternal deaths are going down, because maternal death is not just related to institutional delivery. It is a very big factor, and a lot of health experts who are here will know. It is to do with the mother's health. It is to do with her nutrition and the kind of food she gets. It's to do with the spacing between the deliveries. It is to do with the overall number of children that she has, the kind of health concerns that she may have. All these factors go into the health and this entire factor of the maternal mortality rate. And it takes time to resolve them. But now we have a program and a specific way in which we are actually addressing this issue. We are going down to the micro details. We are ensuring that all these issues, in whichever best way we can resolve them, we are working to resolve on these issues. So therefore, all these aspects are being done, sir. And having said that, sir, I'm not saying that we are satisfied. And I'm not even trying to claim that we have done a lot. Not at all, sir. Not at all. There is a lot more to be done. I would, in fact, if I was with them, I would say, yes, have you achieved everything? Absolutely not. Have you been able to do a lot? We have been able to do something to improve things. But to come in and say that we have failed, I had no other choice but to compare the kind of situation we faced earlier and what we face now. Sir, in terms of the issues that were there, I heard a lot of voices of people mentioning about the ILP. What has this government done about the ILP? Why aren't you moving with Government of India for the ILP? Why aren't you serious about the ILP? Sir, in 27th of November 2013, there was a statement from the then Chief Minister. And the statement goes, 2013, sir, the government does not want ILP. We will not have discussion on ILP. How many times have we discussed the issue? This is a statement made by the then Chief Minister in 2013 regarding ILP. But it was this government that agreed to discuss this matter, moved a resolution and passed it. And today now the opposition comes in and asks, what are you doing? Sir, their stand was very clear. They said we don't want ILP. There will not be ILP. But it is this government that took the initiative. We passed a resolution and we are following up. It shows the intent of this government and the seriousness we have regarding the ILP issue. So don't point fingers at us when you know what your stand was earlier. They mentioned about Mawphor, asking us, what is this government? How long will it take? People are angry today. So what did you do for 48 years when you were there? Why couldn't you take up this Mawphor issue then? People are angry at you also for that. Please remember, this is a joint responsibility. This government has taken up issues that no other government dared to take up. Please remember that. And having said that, I'm not saying we will succeed in all. No. It's difficult. It's not easy. But we are at least trying. We are at least concerned. We are at least with the people. We are listening to the voice of the people and saying that, yes, this is important. Why did it take 47 years to pass a resolution on 8th schedule? Why couldn't you do it earlier? That means you were not bothered about it. But now that we have taken the resolution, yes, now where is it? What is it? What's happening? Why aren't you moving? Fine, I'm not running away from responsibility. But as Elo had mentioned, let us work together. The way he had mentioned that, yes, it's an issue that we will work together, we will work together. But then a lot of members were intending to play politics with this particular short duration discussion and try to put the blame that we are not doing anything. For the last 47 years, for the sake of convenience, we would have meetings and maintain status quo for the border issue. Why can't you sit down and discuss and actually go through the names? I want to ask the members, if any of you can even get up and tell me all the 12 areas of differences without reading the paper, you won't be able to tell it because you don't know. You will leave the paper in front of you. But I know all the names of those areas. I even have gone down to the villages. I may not be able to name all the villages, but a large number of villages I know. I know that even detailed this ethnicity of each of these villages, ethnicity of each of these things, because we have been studying this, working on this, talking to them. Sir, there is a very serious concern for our side that we would like to solve this issue. So this is the first government that has shown seriousness about the border issue, and we will move forward in this, sir, and we will try to find a solution. They blamed us saying that MRSSA not implemented it. So which government started the entry-exit point at Umling? Wasn't it this government that started the Umling entry-exit point and facilitation center? Wasn't it this government that has started and put down the different committees that were there, the task forces? Isn't it this government that has prepared an online system today that is going to be implemented for MRSSA? Sir, we are serious about it, and we have taken steps. Just 2 months, not even 2 months, 1 month back, I had a meeting with the police department and the NIC to go through the details of all the procedures of how MRSSA, we have decided to take up pilot projects. There'll be a software that's ready, and everything will happen online to ensure that MRSSA will be implemented, sir, and we are very serious about it. So the honorable members have also put a doubt on the approach of this government. So let me candidly share what we have been discussing. Every time we faced a very difficult situation, Deputy Chief Minister, Home Minister, cabinet colleagues, so we used to sit down, and the first thing we used to say, no lives should be lost. No lives. We don't want our people to die. Before anything else, sir. And maybe there are a lot of people who may not agree with our way of working. But I've been very clear from day one that who are these people? Yes, they may not be agreeing to our stand or may have complaints against us. But these are our children. These are our brothers, our sisters. Yes, they have demands. But does that mean we fire them? Does that mean we beat them up? So that is not the solution that we want. This government has been one of the most accommodating governments, I'm presuming, in the history of our state, which believes in talking, discussing with our members, with our people, and trying to find a solution. We may not agree on all points. It'll never happen. We may not agree. But we agree to disagree also. But we ensure that our people's lives are protected. That has been the mindset of our government, sir. We listen, but at the same time, we maintain our stand. We can't compromise on the law and order. We can't compromise on procedure and policy. We can't compromise on principles. But just because of that doesn't mean we don't listen. Because maybe there is sometimes just a confusion. It's just a matter of confusion. They think that government's stand is something else, whereas we think that they're thinking something else, but actually it's not at all. And these problems can be resolved by dialogue and by talking, and that's how we have proceeded. And I personally feel that we have been able to some extent, find some solution and minimize any kind of casualty, minimize any kind of damage to our property or to the people of our state. And that's the kind of approach we have had. Now, there were issues that were raised about teachers, SSA teachers. So need I again bring out the facts? That the 6, 7 months, 8 months salary of 2016-17, which was not paid by the past government, the SSA teachers are demanding that we should clear that. So can they say it's our failure or is it their failure, sir? That they could not clear the salaries of SSA teachers for the 6, 8 months that time. Please know the facts before you move forward. One of the honorable members talked about one individual being kidnapped in Garo Hills from the CM's constituency. What kind of law and order situation, he asked. Sir, honorable member does not know that the person had some emotional disturbance issues. And he went on his own. His family members were searching for him. And finally, they found him in Dorbar. Why are you misleading the House like this? Get your facts correct and then speak. There was no kidnapping. The police found the person in Dorbar. He had an emotional issue. He was missing from the house. But terming that today on the floor of the House as kidnapping and law and order not being there, sir, this is not a behavior of a responsible member of this House, sir. Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I have to take time because it is a subject that they have raised so many points, but I'll try to be very, very short, sir, as far as possible, sir. So coming back, sir, to those very important critical issues that this government took up. Now, a lot of the members here are saying that ILP, where is it? But whereas their leader and the leader of the opposition, in his statement in 2013 says no ILP. So they were saying we are confused. This government is confused what it wants. I think they are confused, sir. I'll be very clear. Because their leader is saying no ILP, whereas the rest of them are saying ILP. Then one of the members says that don't construct the MTC building. Because, it has to be completely this and that and nobody's been asked or no. Then another member comes and says, no, we want parking lots to be made. Make up your mind what you want. You want the MTC building or you don't want the MTC building? MTC building will ensure that there will be 200 more parking lots created. So they're confused themselves, sir. I don't want to go into the details of their confusion. But that's something I wanted to clarify right now, sir. So they mentioned a lot about the illegal activities. Sir, I have mentioned time and again on the floor of the House that in the last these last 3 years, we have taken a large number of steps to ensure that cases and different kind of crackdowns are done on any kind of illegal activity that goes on. 301 cases have been booked under Section 21 of the MMDR Act against persons involved in illegal coal mining and transportation since 2019. In fact, the provisions of the MMDR Act were only brought in by this government because the provisions under CRPC are not that strong. So under the provisions of the MMDR Act, a person will be in prison for minimum 5 years. This is the seriousness that we had to ensure that we reduce the overall cases of any kind of illegal activity that's going on. But having said that, sir, honorable members must be knowing that in the CAG report from 2013 to 2018, 49 lakh metric tons of illegal coal was transported according to the CAG report between 2013 and 18. 49 lakh metric tons, 5.6 lakh trucks were carrying illegal trucks according to CAG report in 2013-18. Sir, what I'm trying to say here, sir, is that when you point a finger at others, 3 fingers are pointing at you. That's what I want to tell. Please remember that. And that's why I appreciate when LO has spoken that, though we are trying to bring it to your notice, we're trying to figure out how to move forward. I appreciate that, sir. But pointing a finger and blaming this government only for all these problems that are there is not correct. In fact, if you would ask me, sir, all these problems would not have been there. It is a failure on part of the previous government that when 2014 there was a ban by the NJT, why didn't they challenge it in the Supreme Court at that point in time? Why did they have to wait for so long? It is this government that challenged that particular order in Supreme Court, and we got an order in favor in 2019. And now, sir, we are in the process of starting the scientific mining. And that July 2019 order is an order that is historic in nature, because not only the land rights, but even the minerals that are below it belong to the people. It has been certified by the Supreme Court. This is the work of this government, sir. Today they talk about illegal activities in corruption. Somebody was mentioning about Saubhagya. So let me ask. Today I have a detailed, I don't have the detailed full report with me today, now here. What I mean to say today in the sense in my office. I have a detail about the organic mission. Now in the organic mission, there's a liability of 40 crores, which I have to give. 40 crores. And I'm not able to release it. I want to tell you why, sir. We are not able to release the 40 crores because there is no official record of the amount being spent. Now, normally, sir, the beneficiaries that are receiving the benefit of the organic mission, the concerned horticulture officer, agriculture officer, or at least the BDO or the extension officer should have been informed about the different beneficiaries that were getting it. No such exercise was conducted. The particular person or the particular contractor, I don't want to go into details, I have all the names with me. Those who were supplying this went directly and supplied to the beneficiaries, well, so-called supply to the beneficiaries. Whether they got or they didn't get, nobody knows. We have no clue. So today when they come and ask us for the bill, how do we pay? When there is no record of the fact that they were given or not. Same is with, sir, Agar mission. We don't have those records. Livestock mission. So many cows and so many other things were given. All missing. People are saying, maybe it's gone to Bangladesh. So, today there was a case of appointment of teachers. One of the honorable members said that illegal appointments have been taken place by this government. Immediately action should be taken. Sir, need I remind this House and the opposition especially about the CBI case that was going on against one of the members in this House who had illegally appointed and put a white ink on the mark sheet. And today you're talking about illegal appointment. A member in this House was involved in that, sir. Please don't talk about illegal appointments. I have too many facts with me regarding those issues, sir. But I'm not the kind of person who likes to bring out these issues and play a blame game. But then I have to protect my team. I have to protect my officials. I have to protect my government. And that's why I'm clarifying these points, sir. So today, they mentioned a number of things about law and order. Very conveniently, the LO has said that we resolved everything and we gave it to you. So I would like to thank him for that. But let us look at the numbers, sir. Now, in the counter-insurgency operations that took place between 2013 and 2021, between 2013 and 2017, 1,000 plus incidents took place. Whereas in the last 3 years of this government, only 17. In the last term of 2013 to 2017, 215 plus incidents took place of encounter. In the last 3 years, only 6. Arrests that were made in regards to counter-insurgency was close to 900 between 2013 and 2017. In the last 3 years, it was 17. People killed in the last 2013 to 2017 was close to 130 people, or 137 people were killed in the last 2013 to 2017. Whereas in the last 3 years, it was only 3. So this is clear reflection and indication of the fact that the law and order situation is very much under control. Am I saying that everything is perfect? No, sir. Law and order can never be perfect. There will always be challenges. There will always be troublemakers. There will always be people who will try to create different kind of situations to take advantage of the situation. But I can confidently say on the floor of this House that we have seen the situation far better in the last 3 years than it was in the previous government's time, sir. So therefore, let's not get into all this kind of blame game. We're talking about there is no law in the state, nothing is happening, the people are scared to come out. So people were more scared to come out during that time. Even the LO has admitted it. Even the LO has admitted it that the contractors did not dare to go and do the work. But today, everybody is free. People are confident. People are taking up the work. That's the kind of situation that you've seen. Sir, in another point which I would like to raise is regarding the overall development that has happened in the last few years. Sir, it's okay. So these numbers, of course, are numbers which I thought I will not share at this point in time, but I thought that maybe we're in the assembly, so I would share it. But just to give an idea about the actual expenditure that took place in the last many years, sir. And we have our budgets, sir. We prepare the budgets and then the expenditures are made. Sir, in 2015-16, we had an expenditure of 7,884 crores, 7,800 crores. In 2017-18, the government spent a total of 9,000 crores. In today, as of now, sir, we are going to cross more than 14,000 crores, sir. From 9,000 crores today to 14,000 crores. That is a kind of jump in terms of the expenditure of the government that has taken place in the last 3 years. And so this cannot happen without proper governance. Because when the governance is good, that is when the funds will flow. The funds will flow on time, the UCs will be given on time, Government of India will give more money, other agents will see that this government is performing and more fund will come in. The fact that today the expenditure has gone up from 9,800 crores in 2017 to today in 2021 at 14,000 crores, 5,000 crores increase reflects the overall governance and the fact that implementation of the projects has been the best in the history of our state, and the highest expenditure ever has happened in the last 3 years. And the benefit of this goes to the people. This will add up in the GSDP of the state. So therefore, sir, this is a very important indicator. Another very small point I would like to mention here, that the Honorable LO was mentioning about the different points of the EAPs. So I would like to inform the House that today, as of today, there are more than 8,000 crores of EAPs that are being implemented in our state. 8,000 crores. And today, it is these consultants that our individual MLAs and other members have mentioned, saying that who are these consultants? Why are we taking them? Why are we paying them? So it is because of these consultants that in the last 3 years alone, in 3 years alone, we started new projects of 4,200 crores. And they have been sanctioned and they will be implemented. And a large number of them, of these projects, should be starting by the third quarter of this particular financial year. So therefore, sir, when it comes to overall governance, these big banks like JICA, KFW, ADB, New Development Bank, World Bank, they will not fund the government if they don't see that this government has the capacity to spend, that this government has the capacity to actually perform. This is another clear indicator that this government has been efficiently utilizing the funds. The overall machinery has been working. A lot more needs to be done, a lot more. But coming here and saying that there's been a failure is completely incorrect on part of the members, sir. So having said that, many members have raised many points. So as I said, this is not a governor's address, debate on governor's address or budget speech. So I don't think we'll have time to go into all of that. I've spoken a lot. But I've noted down all the concerns, all the suggestions that have been given by the members, whether it's to do with the pending projects. So I can just tell you, because the LO had mentioned this in his speech, but all these state projects, whether it's a state technical university, whether it's the engineering college, whether it's the architectural college, whether it's a commerce and science college, sir, on this floor of the House, I would like to inform you that all of these projects will be inaugurated on 21st of January 2022. When our state turns 50, we will inaugurate these buildings. So we have not left any stone unturned. Yesterday, our honorable member from Ampatti had asked about the Ampatti water project. So it was done from the special plan assistance, the time of planning commission. 27 crores was spent and then stopped. Then when the project came to us, They said there is no money. We don't know what to do. Sir, if we were other government or we were very vindictive, we would have just left the project. But I want to inform this House that out of the 87 crores that are there in that project, 27 is the only amount that came from the SPA. The rest of the 60 crores has come from the state budget, sir. We have given the money for the Ampati water supply scheme in spite of the fact that yes, it's an opposition constituency and there's a tendency sometimes to neglect them. But we said no, this is a district headquarter and therefore we will give the required funds. But then when they came back with a revised estimate is when the problem came and we said, well, we have to now check this again. But we gave 60 crores to take this project forward. So, sir, many such projects are there, whether it's the model college, a model school, whether residential schools, and so forth. There were so many schools that were there, so many other pending projects were there, which all the members have mentioned. I have noted almost all of them down, sir. I would like to inform all the members that we will do our best to ensure that we are able to resolve all these issues. As I said, there are too many of them to mention. This is not a proper motion or a proper debate on governor's address, so I don't feel sort of that we have enough time to go through all of that. But I felt that it's important that I mention these other points that are there. On any other issue that is important to the honorable members, so the honorable members can always write to me. And yes, yesterday we had a very, very positive discussion with the honorable LO, and he has expressed that yes, the State Security Commission is an important platform where we need to discuss. And I have agreed also, and we will be meeting very soon on this. I hope that we can do it within this month itself, before the 30th of September. We'll try to have that meeting itself. If not, then within the month of October, very early, we will try to have this meeting. So the suggestions are positive, sir. I always believe, as the LO has also mentioned, that we must work constructively. We must always take the criticism in a positive manner, which I do, sir. And I can assure the members that we will definitely work together to try to address the issues. 100% resolution cannot be there in everything, but yes, keeping the interests of the people in mind, keeping the development of the state in mind, we will try to work together to take the state together, sir, forward. With these few words, sir, I would like to resume my seat. Thank you, sir.